Should this be a separate episode than the one with Walter?
Yeah.
Might be. Might have to be.
Dude, I felt like we got too performative in our conversation once we came in here.
Probably, yeah. That's why you kind of got to do like the podcast because it's like a first date. You kind of got to bust your cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one's always weird. It's a good word, performant.
We also kind of like we were in like a really good flow when we were in there before.
And I ruined it.
No, you didn't ruin it. Like we came in.
It's okay. You can say it.
No, but that's not the case because I really like the idea. But like we like came in and then like I got up to pee and then he went to pee and then we like there was just like a bunch. You know,
Yeah.
we just lost the flow.
Yeah, that's why I try to like just have like someone on and you just sit down and let it. So when the flow naturally picks, it just runs and you get the whole thing. There's like we're recording right now, by the way, and it's 11:30 p.m. You shut up over there. Interdimensional aliens, all right? And so,
Not good.
So like the first time I heard that with Alex Jones, is I was like, that's like hilarious. I was like, he's finally gone off his rocker. Episode 9/11. This was like fall 2016, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
it was.
I remember looking for it, but I couldn't find it. And dude, when that first came out. Like, I remember they like, advertised it. They're like, the InfoWars podcast. I didn't know what InfoWars was. I didn't know who Eddie Bravo was. I didn't know who Alex Jones was.
Me neither. I had loosely known him as a meme.
Yeah, so I'd never even heard that. I had, like, heard InfoWars before, but I had no idea what I thought it was, like, something bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Which I guess is effective propaganda.
Yeah,
we were like, that's...
propaganda. And... So I didn't even bother to listen. I wasn't really even into podcasts at the time.
Yeah, I listened to Rogan, and that was about it.
Yeah, this was like, I think that's why I saw the advertisement for it, because like I had just started listening to Rogan, and I'm like, Rogan's the only podcast worth listening to.
Yeah.
So it's the only one I listen to. And people try to like recommend other podcasts. I'm like, that's stupid. The only podcast we're listening to is Rogan. And I was like, oh wow, there are actually like other podcasts worth listening to.
Yeah, that's how I was forever, and honestly. Probably still will be, but when I heard Tim Dillon, I became hooked. But so the first time I heard him talking about interdimensional aliens, I was like, all right, he's finally fucking like. I always knew he was crazy, but like everything he did say kind of came true. Dude. CIA, Epstein, like okay.
Okay. Can I interrupt for a second?
Absolutely.
So, who is? I know there's many, but I'm failing an example at the moment. People that have said things that were just so far ahead of their time that they just seem batshit crazy bonkers.
Oh, like Galileo, Joseph Lister.
Galileo, Copernicus.
Joseph Lister.
Who's Joseph Lister?
Germ theory. Hey, maybe we should sterilize things between surgeries. That guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These magic bugs that you can't see.
Yeah,
sure.
Trust me, they're mad. You can't see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe Leo Szilard. Okay. Who came to America because he was like, I think if you put enough uranium together, you're going to make a big explosion. And went to FDR.
So weird.
Led to the Manhattan Project.
So, and...
What if that's AJ?
Like, I love to think about the fantastical and be like, what if that was true? Where are your parents staying, by the way?
Downstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I love like practical things, talking about like healthcare 2008, but goddamn, do I also just love like.
And I love like believing in the fantastical. So
yes,
like,
it's the best.
Yeah, it's great, dude. It's fun. Why not believe in something that's exciting?
It's our sailing across the ocean and going off the edge of the world or ending up in India and discovering America.
Really, we are on a giant rock spaceship hurtling through this infinity.
Nothing is off the table.
That we don't understand.
We are ghosts inhabiting a brain wrapped in skeleton inside of a meat body walking around a piece of iron silicate dust. Like nothing's off the table.
So... Okay, so he talks about 12 dimensions, and he's like, Einstein said there are 12 dimensions. I don't recall Einstein saying that there's 12 dimensions.
Me neither.
Like, again, disclaimer, I'm not a physicist. I am fascinated by physics and quantum physics. Mm-hmm. Like, fascinated. And if you ever have, like, a good podcast to recommend on that ground, I'm happy to hear it.
I will. I don't know of any.
So like I like to read books about it.
You should find someone, a quantum physicist, and ask them if they'll just come on and do a 101.
Dude, there's a lot of quantum physicists that
Dude, if you can just send me one, like just send me a couple names, I'll hunt down emails and just blanket bomb them. One will probably come on, and I'll just
should totally do that.
Dude, I do that with a lot of topics. I ask people to come on. I'm like, will you just give me a 101 on like a entry level this? And some people do.
So,
but yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say if you do that, you should probably like brush up on it a little bit.
Oh, I absolutely will. Yeah, no, I'll find their book or something.
Yeah. So anyway, like string theory, which I think doesn't make a lot of sense. Which kind of me saying that doesn't make a lot of sense. That's like a fucking retarded 5-year-old saying calculus doesn't make sense. Like, all right, dummy, just because you don't understand it doesn't make sense. But like people I respect in the community, again, big caveat, the people I respect in the community, like me respecting someone in the community has no bearing on anything.
Yeah.
But think that string theory is a dead end. And I think that it's the fact that it's been like basically a dead end for the past 60 years is proof of that, or evidence of, not proof, evidence of 50 years.
I might need to turn that down, because now that there's not people talking, I might be picking up that music, in which case my channel will get yanked.
Oh yeah, that's so stupid.
The fucking Gestapo. Tim, hey, fill the air. Keep talking. Physicist.
So well, yeah, but I'm talking to you, so you know. Tommy saving the day.
No, I just turned it off. No, I shut down, it was on Sirius.
And they're arguing with his parents, his mom. No respect these days, I tell you. That's my nephew. He's pretty fucking cute. Miles. This little bugger. Oh, what the fuck? I'll show you someone else that's pretty cute too. My little puppy. My little puppy dog. Oh, cute little bastard. He's so cute. I miss me a snuggle buggy. I want to snuggle with my snuggle buggy. My snuggle puppy. My snuggle puppy. Silly doggy. Come on. He's a silly, silly, silly doggy. He's so silly. He's so deaf and silly. And so noisy. And he's sometimes shitty. But I love him and I love his snuggles so much.
Are you talking?
Yeah.
Better be. All right.
Okay, so I bring up, yeah, don't break that. So I bring up string theory because of multiple dimensions. Dude, I kind of feel like I'm gonna puke from all the fucking cookies I ate.
I know. I have to slow down.
Yeah.
If you need to, just go let it happen.
No, I hate puking. I will go to the world's end to avoid it. Even if that means I feel uncomfortable for like 4 hours.
That's weird, but
Yeah, I know.
you do you.
Okay, so string theory, to be viable, requires the existence of no less than 10 dimensions. And I was talking about this with you earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So...
Boson field, fermion field.
Well, no, so there's bosonic and fermionic particles. So, like, there's, like, I always fucking... So, bosonic particles are, like, ones that carry... Mass, and then there's fermionic ones that, like, carry energy. So, you know, this speaks to the whole multi-dimensional thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know where 12 comes from. But, so, Carl Sagan, too, like, talked about this a lot. And he had this really good...
He has a great video depicting, like, the...
Flatland, right?
Yeah. And then, like, the cube or the apple or whatever it is.
The apple slice,
coming through, yeah.
Yeah, and just scoops it up. I love the way he talks.
Yeah.
So.
It's just a beautiful universe.
Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And
I mean, think of the dogs right now. Those little fucking rats running around.
Yeah.
They have no comprehension of like what Thanksgiving, or fuck it, maybe they do. Maybe they know this time of the year.
Fair
They
point.
have no idea about the 2020 election.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a fair.
But I was gonna say just mental capacity, and they can't even comprehend. But I guess that's still within our dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
They know we're here. You know what I mean?
They
So-
still would see the candidates. They
Yeah.
could see what it is. You're
Yeah.
talking about outside of our perception.
Yeah. So, it's like, I think not settled science by a long stretch, but like, a pervasive idea is like, so, yeah, because you think of like Hinduism or something like that, where like the soul, so to speak, is like an energy that goes from body to body. That's why they have reincarnation and shit like that. So the soul is an energy, and the body is just an antennae that allows the
Non-local.
the energy to localize in this plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a
So-
radio picking up a signal.
Exactly. Which is why like people can feel connected, and there's like these weird things with ghosts and shit
Or you
like
go
that.
into deep meditation and you stop feeling the radio and you become the signal.
Yeah, dude.
Those big fields of yeah.
And it's like, so when I was talking about like how they were saying that, like we are vibrations in the Higgs field, the mass field or something like that. That was like, oh man, that makes kind of a lot of sense. So like, if someone would be like, all right, well, we've now discovered that Alex Jones is fucking totally right, and I think it's just a matter of time.
It always is, and it's kind of like that 4chan meme. Like of all the words spoken and written in pen, the saddest words spoken or written in pen are that 4chan was right again. It's like a rhyme, but the twist on it is like, of all words spoken or written in pen, the saddest are Alex Jones was right again. But
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, if they came forward and like, Alex Jones was right, and there's like energies and fucking dimensions that we're not aware of, and beings in these other dimensions, and like he's very biblical in his speak.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. Is he like a religious person?
he does, if you go back and listen to the second one on Rogan, he kind of brings up God a lot, but I don't think he brings it up in like a Judeo-Christian sense. I think he looks at it as like,
He said God and angels in heaven.
yeah, I think, but he often talks about that as like a positive form.
Yeah, I know, which is very Judeo-Christian.
But I mean, I guess he means as entity. I don't think he looks at it in a religious sense. I think he looks at them as like, just like there are different species, like there are negative species, and he just calls them demons because it's easier for everyone to associate with. But he
Yeah.
thinks that those are just like, I mean,
But again, the way he spoke about it, he's like, there's God in heaven with his angels who are below him.
that's a weird thing is he says everything with such confidence that there's part of me that like I laugh, but then so he says stuff about like the CIA or agent provocateurs or like the road to tyranny, and that's stuff that like as the decades go on you kind of see,
Yeah.
or it becomes declassified. He might be talking about stuff that like we're not gonna see, like it might not be for another 500 years, which I think is
where he
crazy.
gets this
like a
information.
like a fucking.
And he's like, I just read the articles, they're out there. It's like, okay, who's putting these articles out?
No, but that's the appeal to authority. Rogan always says, "Where do you get this?" And Jones says, "I mean, I'm just like Tim. If I just if I just gave you a bunch of like puzzle pieces and then you made the puzzle, I'd be like, well, where'd you get the image for the puzzle? You'd be like, well, I mean, I used my brain. I found the pieces and I put them together." So what he says is like, I mean, he's like, you don't need to get the answer from someone. I looked at all the pieces and I just put it together. Which, I mean, that's an
Okay,
argument
but
for thinking on your...
even
Sure.
Still, where the fuck did
Who
put
the
those pieces out
fuck
there?
knows, dude? He's been doing this for like 30 years. I imagine there's just...
Well, you know what, dude? Like, he's probably right.
Yeah, and that's like what I hate to admit is that like he probably is. And so this is the way I look at it. And I was talking with this girl, and she's super fucking badass. And we were talking about interdimensional demons. And yeah.
the interdimensional fucking, what's it called? What vampires?
They're psychic vampires.
Yeah, the interdimensional psychic
The
vampires.
interdimensional pedophiliac satanic psychic vampires. And I was just like, wait, what the fuck? But so this is what I was thinking. So this
I got the documents.
I'm just saying I have good
I got
sources.
good sources, yeah.
So this is, and this is, it's like the argument I used for like what it's like if like a UFO came to Earth, right? Imagine you're one of those uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, and then one day a Black Hawk helicopter thunders over the horizon. It's made out of metal. You've never seen metal. It's got a clear cockpit. Like, what the fuck is glass? It's massive. It's, you know, if it's off the ocean, it's blowing up surf. It's loud as fuck. It's the size of a bus, and it's hovering. That looks like a demon, and you have no way to explain that. And you can't say, hey man, I just saw this helicopter, because neither of you have any perceptions of helicopter. You've never seen flattened, smelted, melted metal. Like, it's alien. So using that kind of same, if we can use that analogy, and that's something we know exists, right? Uncontacted tribes. And we know that we go up to them with helicopters and they throw spears at them. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I then began thinking a lot about...
Spears,
yeah, they do. It's fucking hilarious, right? That's just like us, like, shooting anti-aircraft guns at, like, flying saucers. Yeah, no, not that. At the Battle of Los Angeles in 41 or 42, when we shot anti-aircraft guns, we dispensed like 1,650 rounds at these like things flying over LA in like 1942. Yeah, but like, so what I think of is I think of like CIA, right? Of course, it all comes back to the CIA, but I think of like us tampering in like second and third world politics, right? Think like Vietnam or Korea or developing the Mujahideen. What are we really? We're going in there. We are the technologically elite. We have forms of communication that a lot of those farmers and shit and like the opium fields they've never heard of a radio or a phone. So we go in there, and these people come to us, and we're like, hey, like, we want them to fight the Soviets. You guys want drinking water? You know, we're gonna drop
Seems like a fair trade.
We're gonna drop some crates of AKs, maybe some maps, and you know. What happens, happens, right? And that's how we go foment proxy wars, right? We give these quote-unquote lesser people, and not like a racial sense, but just like the indige, and we come in, we airdrop some AKs, we airdrop some landmines, and we're like, figure it out, you know? Go cause havoc. And that's what we do. We've been, you know, doing it since 47. If we know proxy wars exist, and we do. We fought them with China and the Soviets in Vietnam, and in Afghanistan in the 80s. You could probably argue now that there's like a proxy war going on, right? China using North Korea, right? We know that happens. I would probably say China's probably...
Why would China, just on a tangent, why would China be okay with a rogue nuclear state directly on its border?
Because it has its hand up its ass and it's using it as a puppet.
Yeah, but... unless China has so much control that literally Kim Jong-un couldn't even utilize...
You mean like bringing in the vast majority of their coal and grain?
No, not even that, but like...
But that's what I mean, is they control the power and the food.
Yeah, no, that, but like...
Who's to say Kim doesn't just shoot the nukes at them?
Yeah.
It's probably because the nukes don't actually work.
Maybe.
I mean, I feel like, why would China do that? China's using it because it's a little puppet that they can, you know, it's like us with like Israel. Like Israel is basically like a forward operating base of the U.S.
Yeah, that's true, but Israel is much more standalone relative.
They are, and they fucked
than...
up the USS Liberty.
The what?
The U.S. Liberty in like the 70s, that American ship the Israelis sank.
I don't know about that.
What?
Yeah.
They killed 34 sailors. They shot them in the water after they tried to jump overboard. You've
What?
never read about the USS Liberty?
No, why?
You go read about it because they thought that we were snooping on them committing war crimes. You've never heard of the...
No.
Tim, I feel... I don't know why I'm chastising you. But you should look it up. It's if you go... I think it was under LBJ. Maybe it was Nixon.
So they fucking shot the sailors in the water?
After they jumped out and they were like waving American flags and they're like, we're injured, they went up with like little boats and just like shot like their 50 cals into them. They're strafing them with fighter jets. We absolutely 100% should have gone to war with Israel in like 73 whenever this happened. The USS Liberty. It's memory hold in like American education.
I've never heard of this. Why the fuck would the Israelis think that's a good idea?
Because they did, and it went away. They clearly, if you read about that...
That's probably why our hands up their ass, because they're like, oh, fuck.
No, I don't think it's that. I think they did it, and the part of me is like, America was total cucks. We just took it up the ass. We're like, sorry, Israel.
LBJ would do that.
Yeah, but yeah, LBJ is a faggot. But, so
with a big dick, though.
Yeah, he called it Jumbo. I'm not kidding. He used to take it out on Air Force One, and he would say, here's Jumbo. He used to throw steaks at like waitresses or like stewardesses.
What a fucking...
He's insane. Yeah, Beeps had a great book on Air Force One that my mom has now, and I read it. For everybody listening, Beeps was our grandfather. But So think about this, right? So they do that. We know we do proxy wars, right? So
Beefs is probably in the Higgs field right now, dude.
Beefs is absolutely in the Higgs field. He and me are playing backgammon in the Higgs field. But, like, we know we do proxy wars, right? We know we give these people technology. Like, they don't have transport jets, but we go in there and we just drop shit. We ask them to foment shit, right? And if they come to us, you know, they come, hey, I want to help. You know, we give them weapons, food, radio, and then we're like, hey, you know, just blow up like a Soviet convoy. That's how we get the Mujahideen, and then they later become the Taliban, right? So.
Taliban's not real, though, dude.
Yeah, okay, but listen. So, if we know that happens on one level, just like the helicopter seeing the uncontacted tribes, and then we can extrapolate, okay, UFOs coming to us, who's to say that there's not another level of proxy? Who's to say that there's not some force out there with their hand up America's ass and a force with, and just keep your mind open and listen, and there's a force with like their hand up the Chinese ass? And what would these be? They would be technologically superior, so they'd be alien races.
Yeah, but what purpose would they have for this?
What purpose do we have with proxy wars?
Because we live in the same plane, on the same planet, fighting for the same resources.
And then maybe they have something. Maybe there's a resource that we don't even detect that we have. I don't know. I'm just using the
intellectually doesn't suss out for me. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter because we're talking about interdimensional aliens. So it's like the whole thing's out the window anyway. All right, it's so just it just.
I feel like this would be a symbol of the aliens.
That.
Yeah,
that would be.
No, it's you gotta look at it from the profile.
Yeah, that would definitely be like that would definitely be an alien, like Heil Hitler.
Yeah,
right,
something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely what it would be.
Yeah.
In 100 years, this will be the first known documentation of the whatever the Heil Hitler would be. It'd be like like that would be like the interdimensional overlords. But so let's just toy with that thought.
If they have tentacles over them,
who the fuck knows? But that's the thing is, why would they even be physical forms? Who's to say that they don't exist? Listen, in a different dimension that we can't perceive them, just like these primitive tribes couldn't contact us, and we go there and drop off weapons, and we're like, don't worry about how we know. They can't even conceive of like.
I try to intellectualize where is this other dimension, like it's occupying the same space, but at the same time not in the same space. Blows my mind.
It's our own minds, but the point is I'm getting at is like, what if there are, and that's what it would be. It would be these things that we can't even detect,
okay,
and
we know that there are.
Okay, and they've been coming here for thousands of years, and that's why we have primitive that's why we have books, and it's like, oh, these are demons and these are angels. I'm just toying with it as a thought experiment. The whole thing is like we're not talking about like the Higgs field or like private versus public sector. Like this is clearly like we have one toe in the pool of rationality, and the rest we're just jumping into just psychobabble. But it's midnight on Thanksgiving. We're shooting the shit about interdimensional aliens. So just buckle up, all right? You got this.
Dude, I am buckled. I'm always buckled.
Always buckled. But that's so just to I'm being devil's advocate for why Alex Jones isn't totally insane. Maybe that's it. Maybe that there's just, and who knows, you don't need to reason what their proxy war is. We just have to think, is it viable that it could happen? We don't need to, just like a tribesman in Afghanistan couldn't possibly wonder about the nuclear arms race. They're just giving a gun and we're saying, hey, go blow this Hummer up and then we'll give you water. It's just whatever. They don't care. So let's just say that same thing exists again. That there is just a proxy war on Earth for maybe there's a resource here that we don't even know we have. It's like finding people and being like, they don't know they have oil under them. And we're like, hey, can we come into your village? Like, who's to say that there isn't something in another dimension that's also on Earth, some form of like dark matter oil or something. And they're just like, yo, we need Earth. And maybe it only happens where there's like complex biological life. And they're like, we need this dark energy that we can't detect, but we're sitting on like a Saudi field of oil. I mean, we could really use a joint. Like, that would help with this, but... You picking up what I'm putting down?
I am. The Saudi field of oil made sense.
So that's what I mean. Is like, we don't need to worry about what the justification is. Just let's try to project our own experiences and see how could it go further. Or let's not even go interdimensional. What if we went to Mars and we found an exact mirror of our civilization, but it was just like 1850? they wouldn't be able to understand like IR scopes and like thermal and like.
Okay, first of all, there already are temples on Mars.
I thoroughly believe that the Department of Defense is on Mars, at some capacity.
Really?
No, maybe not. Maybe not Mars. Let me take that back. I thoroughly believe that the United States has had a base on the moon since like the 70s. Because think about it, it is the ultimate national security. It is the security of the nation state. If we have that as our external hard drive, fuck bunkers on Earth. Go put a command post, a backup on the moon. It is the ultimate form of we win mutually assured destruction.
Yeah, but do you really? Because you're still like you need the Earth for that. So like if the Earth is a smoldering atomic wasteland, then what good is a bunker on a moon?
What good is a bunker on Earth? The mutually assured destruction. The whole thing is mad. It, like, no pun intended. It's like it doesn't. The whole thing is insane. So it's not even like who can viably win a thermonuclear war. It got to a point where it's just like, I think it was someone in Eisenhower's cabinet. The quote is, "If at the end of the war there are two of us and one of them, we won." Like that was the mindset. It lost rationality once we started going into like the 10s and 20s of megatons.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was insane. There was no one was in charge. There was no like big picture. It was the whole thing was just like shooting from the hip,
Which is fun sometimes.
which is fucking awesome. So that's my idea on interdimensional aliens. Can you explain what you said, or is that going to spoil the Tim Pool podcast? Where you're talking about like a praying mantis.
Oh,
That was interesting.
basically he was just saying that.
Explain that. Explain that.
So he was talking about like
Who?
Jones. The reason that like the elite rape and murder children is because it creates a disruption in the interdimensional energy fields because it's so violent, and it draws these interdimensional demons to that disruption in the energy field, so that they can then commune with the demons and get technology from them, which is why. So I don't know why these demons have fucking technology that they don't want to give to us, but you have to like.
You mean
raise the
like
kid to get
you
it.
mean like us going to a second world country and being like, "Hey, we'll give you some old F-16s."
Yeah, but we're not like fucking
I don't know.
murder children. Kind of.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Drawn to conflict, maybe the metaphorical blood is oil.
Okay. So
So it's all very loose. Like we got to throw everything out the
so-
window.
he's like, that's what like you think of like the Incans and shit that would like sacrifice thousands and thousands,
Tens
of
of
people.
thousands.
Yeah, they're like they would use that energy of violence to like draw a giant fucking. I don't know if he was just like kind of shooting from the hip, like, or if he actually thinks it was a giant praying mantis
I
demon.
feel like if you said that, he thinks it's that.
Yeah, to come to the disruption in the Higgs field caused by all this violence that would then give them technology.
Now, I wonder if does it consciously give technology, or is it sort of like, I don't know, it's like if an A-bomb went off, you'd want to put all your just really loose. I don't know if there's like a rainstorm. The rainstorm isn't giving us water so much as if there's a rainstorm, you can put out buckets and collect water. Does like the interdimensional beings like just mere presence? Does that maybe cause like
Impart technology?
yeah, like if you're near it, all of a sudden you sort of get like eureka moments.
I don't know. Beyond my ability to comprehend.
But that's what in the second one he was on with Rogan, he was like, all these ancient priests, they'd be killing babies and cutting their hearts out, and then they'd be screaming, "The gate's open! The gate's open!" Alex Jones. Episode is for Alex Jones, not that he watches or gives a fuck. Tim just went to the bathroom. They are passed out over on the couch. It's a little past midnight, I think. A little bit past midnight. Thanksgiving 2020. Election's still up in the air. Tim is currently urinating. My little brother broke a glass table. Fucking idiot. And now Tim's peeing. That sounds great. Yeah, I'm trying to toy with this idea of interdimensional demons and forces more so as a thought experiment. Like, can I keep my mind open and entertain it? I don't necessarily think it's real, but I think it's a fun thing to keep my mind open. So that crazy guy you were talking about with like the free energy and World Trade Center thing, have you ever listened to Dr. Judy Woods, her like lecture called "Where Did the Towers Go?"
No.
And her argument is that okay. Her argument is that, you know what, that right there is just proof that there's evil in the world.
Yeah, totally.
But international demons, dude. You trying to go to sleep?
I'm very tired.
Okay, you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have 5 seconds to 30 minutes.
Okay. Demons.
International demons, they're coming through the firmament, Joe. I mean, I swear to God, these people are. The Nazis were seduced, all right?
Yeah. We can play that tomorrow. I'm just really tired.